everybody, welcome back to another episode of My Top 5. But before we begin, a bit of housekeeping first. So I've been trying to branch out the channel and reach people far and wide, and in doing so I've gone on to pretty much all the social media platforms. So I've now set up a Facebook page, which you are more than welcome to like. I'm obviously on Twitter, I've decided to go on Instagram, even though I'm not really sure how to use it, and I'm on Reddit as well. I'm not really sure how to use that either. I haven't worked out what a TikTok is yet. I just don't know. Anyway, that's enough of the social stuff, and that's not the reason why you're here. Welcome to another episode of My Top 5. And today I'm looking at my top 5 Transformers toys that I wish I had. Now mostly this is back in the day when I was a kid, and most of these are going to be G1 stuff that I missed out on. But there's also two big factors here. Firstly, I was born in '86, so I caught the tail end of the Transformers craze. And also, being in the UK, there were some figures that weren't released over here. Luckily, I can relive my childhood through my adult years, as I try, emphasis on the word try, to only buy toys that I haven't had back when I was a kid, in my modern collection. It doesn't always work though. Anyway, let's take a stroll down memory lane, shall we? Number 5. Ultra Magnus. Now I did have the front cab of Ultra Magnus in the white Optimus Prime mould. A friend of mine at the time didn't want him anymore, and you don't have to tell me twice about having a free Transformer. I never had the trailer, and therefore couldn't complete the image of Ultra Magnus in robot mode. Now this is a figure that I have considered many times to pick up the Encore version, just to scratch the nostalgia itch. But the Masterpiece series has done me good, and I have an Ultra Magnus of my own, and I absolutely love this figure. He makes me as happy now as I imagine the original one would have done all those years ago. Number 4. Thunderclash. Now I always felt that G1.5 to G2 was very hard to find. As the peak of Transformers has certainly passed, it was very difficult to get hold of figures in 88, 89 or 1990. Some shops wouldn't have them at all, and when they did have them, they certainly didn't have them in the volumes they once did. As Thunderclash came out late and large, getting hold of him would prove very difficult. Even ones today on the secondary market can go for well over £100. Not to mention he's one of the worst sufferers of GPS. That's right, gold plastic syndrome. Any toy in the 1980s that had gold plastic on it probably didn't see it through to the 2000s without it breaking, or if it did, it's been handled with a lot of care. Thunderclash is effectively a new Optimus Prime, in that he's a truck in a glorious 90s colour scheme, with two massive back cannons, and he has a built-in turret mode. I turned down the option to pick up the Fans Hobby version of him, but I had been on the lookout for the MMC Colossus version, which I turned down at TF Nation one year. Number 3. Skylinks. Skylinks was one that's eluded me for many years, and in fact it was picking up the Earthrise Commander Class version where I got my first taste of excellence. The Skylinks character will always sell well, in that he's a Dragon space shuttle that divides into two robots. But that's not this toy's masterstroke. He has a walk-along mode in robot mode, an automated walking mode, that still separates him from his modern day representation. It was such great fun to have this as a toy in the 80s, and it's still great fun today. Number 2. Defensor. Now I didn't have many combiners first time round, and I always wish I had this one. I love how Defensor looked in combine mode, but I also loved how the individual bots looked in both their modes as well. I have handled the figure back then and since, and I just love transforming the likes of First Aid, Hotspot and even Groove. I'd even go as far as to say it's the best combiner of the G1 era. And of course I had the Combiner Wars version today to give me my fix. Number 1. Generation 2 Megatron. Okay, how's this for a date of reference? And UK fans will know this. The closest I ever got to a Generation 2 Megatron was in a photograph of a display in a store catalogue of the shop Index. That's right people, the poor man's Argos. This is a huge, and I do mean huge, green tank with an obscene turret on him. It's still desired for today. They even felt the need to give him another gun, but I'm not sure why. Not to mention his voiceover feature of
Listen to the voice of doom.
Megaton Attic? I don't know, you hear what you want to hear. Soon, hopefully, I'll have the Siege G2 Megatron to complete that itch. But I've got to say, part of me still wants to get that G2 Behemoth. And there you have it. That's my top 5 Transformers toys that I wish I had. But what's yours? Leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. But don't forget to smash that subscribe button before you leave. There's a good sport. And I'll see you on the next one.